I am here with my 2012 Suzuki Kizashi. I got a couple questions about how to change brakes on. They're actually very simple, same as any other vehicle. Give you a quick walkthrough. Pretty much all the tools you'll need is 19mm wrench. Prefer it to be a ratchet wrench. Makes things go a lot quicker. You also need a 19mm socket and a 14mm socket. I'm going to be replacing both brake pads and rotors. Nothing really wrong with my rotors. When you look at it, you want to make sure you don't find any deep grooves. Mine are just old. It's a 2012 and it's been on the car since, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace everything. First, you want to take off your 14mm bolts for your caliper bracket. If your pins are working properly, they'll end up spinning, which is it's annoying, but it's what you kind of want to see. You want to make sure these push pins are moving in and out. Okay, there's enough grease in there, and if not, pound them out and you'll just replace them. It's a $5 fix, but mine are working fine. So you just remove your two 14mm, one right at the top, one right at the bottom. With some wiggling, you should be able to move this on out. That's your caliper. I just rest mine up here on the shock, or strut I should say. And you definitely want to watch this line not to make too much stress on it. I probably shouldn't even be doing that, but if you want to, you can go to remove this and it'll be free. Next, you're going to be removing this caliper bracket. Now, this requires the 19mm. This is your first bolt right here. I've already started, obviously, because I'm filming and I'm doing this by myself. This one's your easier one to get out, in my opinion. I used a breaker bar, fit underneath the car nicely. You can see how it's pretty much starting to come out already. Now the top one, it's a little more trickier. That's why I went ahead and used the wrench and not the socket itself. This one, unfortunately, you can see really no space for a breaker bar. So pretty much it's just a wrench and hammer if you don't have air tools. But if you have air tools, you're probably not watching this video. So this is where the ratchet wrench comes in handy. You don't have to remove it or set it back up again. There we go, and we're free. Now your caliper bracket is what's actually holding your caliper on. I'm sorry, your rotor on. So don't expect it to come right off. These things get pretty welded on there. Just braille you can with some WD-40 or some PB Blaster. So once you get it pretty lubed up in there as much as you possibly can, front and the back. Since it's already bad, you might have to beat it with a hammer, which I hit mine 3 times and it came right loose. So, but yeah. You see how welded on it was. So what we'll work on next is getting these cleaned up and we'll prep for our rotor installation. We're going to obviously just line up the holes, put this on. Don't worry about it being, crooked right now. When we put back on the caliper cover, the caliper bracket, it'll actually lock this into place and keep it nice and steady for you. Caliper brackets can only go on one way, so there's not a real big mystery. So you just slide it back. Then line up the holes, and then you will rock the whole rotor back, which you'll start to line up the top and bottom holes and just put back in the screws. Once you finish putting back on your caliper bracket, hold on your rotor, push it back. Then you want to start with your brake pads, one in the front. You want to angle them. I should replace the hardware, but again, they're fine. Nothing wrong with them, so make sure it's flush against the rotor. Gonna want to do the same with the back. Now, once you get your new brake pads on, obviously they're going to be a lot thicker, so your piston will be semi-exposed. What you're going to want to do is take a C-clamp and spin it to compress that piston. You can see it right there, which will give you enough clearance to put the caliper back on. So once you get your piston fully compressed, you'll actually have enough clearance to make it over your new brake pads. So once you get everything all lined up, you can put back in your 14mm bolt into the caliper bracket. Now, so where the 14mm bolt goes into and where it attached to the caliper bracket, there's a couple flat points. I want to make sure they line up. That way, like I stated earlier, you want these to be able to move and push in and out, but keeping those flat pieces together allows it to get actual fully tightened. Get the top done, don't forget about the bottom. And once you tighten this, you're good to go. And that's how you change brakes on the Kizashi.